G'day Seagulls fans, and welcome to another edition of our team selection video brought to you by Villiers Cakes, joined once again by football manager Chris Dixon. Chris, must have been good to secure that top 4 spot so close to finals last week.
We're really pleased. So it's been a really even competition across the board, and we obviously started the year off pretty slow, losing our first 2 games. So to really sort of secure that top 4 spot with 2 games to go is really pleasing for us.
Just touching on last week now, I guess we owed the Blues for earlier in the year when they came back and ran over the top of us. It was a good win by the club.
Tough conditions out there, so obviously it's almost a game of 2 halves, I guess, defending against the breeze and obviously kicking with it. So we're really pleased with our first quarter. I think at the 25-minute mark, I think it was 1 goal each. So for 25 minutes, we really defended really well against the breeze and even were able to score a goal up against into it. And then to concede 3 goals in that last 5-minute period was pretty disappointing from our end. But obviously we used the ball really well when we had the breeze and defended pretty well in the third quarter. So it was a pretty weird game, sort of having the wind going directly down one side of the ground. But really pleased the way we were able to adapt and I guess play 2 different brands of football with and without the breeze.
Now, there's some unfortunate news to come out of the weekend's games, unfortunately, with a couple of injuries, the main one being the ACL injury to Jack Dorgan. That must be devastating for him and the club.
Really disappointing for him. So Jack's had a standout year for us. Obviously didn't play any senior football last year, but to come in and play sort of 10 senior VFL games, playing all our Foxtel Cup games, including the grand final, and really just take massive steps forward in his own football development. So disappointed to lose him. On the plus side, he's still very young, so he's got a lot of time to recover, and his best football is still well ahead of him. So I know he's really disappointed to be missing out on a finals campaign, but knowing the sort of kid Jack is, he'll be doing everything he can, and I'm sure we'll see him pretty early on in the new year.
This week we've got North Ballarat up in Ballarat. They've been in really hot form after getting off to a slow start this year. What are you expecting out of them?
They're going to be a really tough contest, so looking forward to the challenge of taking him up there. They had a really good win against Geelong on the weekend, so I think Geelong had about 16, 17 AFL players running around, so it was a really impressive performance by them. Probably on paper they've got one of the strongest sides they've had for the year, so a lot of North Melbourne players running around, and just seeing the development of some of their VFL listed players like Nick Rippon, Horbury, Ollie Tate, these sort of players have really taken massive steps forward in their football this year. So it's going to be a really tough contest for us. We know they're really good in the way they move the football. I think they're the number 1 ranked side for effective kicks, which shows they use the ball really well, especially on their home deck. So it's going to be a real good challenge for us. We haven't played a top 8 side for about 6 weeks, so looking forward to coming up against a real quality side that's really probably one of the form sides in the competition.
Well, let's run through the team to face the Roosters this Saturday.
So from the back line, David Fay, Peter Fawkes, Steve McCullum. Halfback, Lee Masters, Brad Mangan, and our 23rd player this week, Brett Bewley. Through the middle, Adam Marcon, Ben Jolly, Ben Davies. Half forward, Mitch Banner, Sean Ty, Jake Owen. Up forward, Willie Wheeler, Scott Clouston, Ben Casley. On ball, Nick Meese, Jack Johnston, Kane Lambert. And on our extended interchange bench, Anthony Anastasio, Ben Bessay, Jake McKenzie, Sam Critchley, Sean Hetherington, Anton Woods, Ryan Ferguson, Jack Charleston, and Nick Singh.
So it's obviously a bit of a hike out to Ballarat. How can fans get across and support the boys on Saturday?
So we've got our supporters bus running up to sunny Ballarat, so that's leaving 11 AM from the Seagulls Nest in Newport, so still a few spots on the bus, so you can just call the office on 9391 0309 and you'll be able to get up there and watch the game. Also, probably a good point to mention this week is we do have our the international rules game as a curtain raiser up to our game, so we've got our host team China who are coming up against Finland, so looking forward to seeing the China boys out in action. Hopefully we can get them a win up in Ballarat and really set the scene for a strong day up there for us.
And this week is also a split round for our senior and development sides. We've got our development side playing Casey on Sunday.
Yeah, so the boys are up against Casey out at Highgate, out in Craigieburn, so they're playing at 2 o'clock on the Sunday, so I think there's a curtain raiser game there before, and then our guys are on there at 2 o'clock, so another good chance for them to come up, and I think if they win that one, they're going to be cementing top spot, which is a great result for them, so they'll be coming out pretty hard, and obviously there's a lot of guys there who are really pushing for senior selection, as well as sort of looking towards that team goal at the end of the year.
Well, thanks very much for joining us once again, Chris, and best of luck over both games on the weekend.
Cheers.